Looks like I am live. Hey everyone, this is Arthur Lee. I am here today to do a live stream on a very popular topic. I think you should all be interested in this because if you want to save your crypto from being stolen or being scammed or being a victim, then that's what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about the 5 crypto scams to avoid. And these are ones that are quite popular coming up into play in the next year. I mean, they've been around, but I mean, these are the top 5 that are going to probably continue going into the rest of this year or completing the rest of this year, going on to next year. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm quite excited to discuss this topic because, hey, who doesn't want to know about how to protect themselves, especially in this crazy crypto market. Anyways, I got this movie music going in the background. Got a new sort of setup here with my very sleek Marshall Stanton 2 speaker, Bluetooth speaker. I've been shopping around for a bit. Quite excited. It's got a very deep bass. I used to play in a little garage band back in the days, and yeah, I remember the Marshall kind of equipment always sounded good, and it's so cool to just have it in home. Anyways, so you'll be able to perhaps enjoy a little bit of sound throughout this call. But anyways, let me turn it down so it doesn't drown out my voice. Yeah, let's get started. So let me get my mouse over here. Okay, cool. Quick intro. So cryptocurrency crime, 2021 all-time high. You know, we're talking about not only crypto total market cap or Bitcoin hitting an all-time high. No, this is cryptocurrency crime. It soared 79%, and with about 14 billion in funds lost. Well, where did all that money go? Per chain analysis, when we look at it, the bulk of the cases were crypto scams, right? Followed by stolen funds from companies, right? So, and these are the crypto scams I'm actually going to go through, right? This is the bulk of the crime that happened in the past year. So just like identity theft, when you think you're safe, or actually you think you're safe until you're a victim, right? That's what usually happens. Like, oh, it can't happen to me. Right, I know what I'm doing, and there's no way that I'll get swindled or conned. But like I said, it's just like identity theft. Until it happens to you, then you're like, yeah, maybe I should have put a little bit more attention about how I was managing my private keys. But anyways, so this live stream will cover the top 5 scams in cryptocurrency targeting victims in 2022. All right, so here we go. Before we get into that, I have a few expectations about how I deliver my content. All of my content is purely for the sake of empowering crypto investors with knowledge so they can make the strongest decision in their investment, daily activity, right? So I try to deliver something that's digestible, fun, simplified, and I always appreciate if we get engagement from the audience. Whether or not you've got a perspective that you want to share with me, I'd love to hear about that, or you want me to share some use case or maybe some information with the broader audience, you can do that too. So look, this is what I see that I try to drive the content for my next live stream from the community's feedback. So please, you can, if you're, have some time, go ahead and just put it in the chat, what you want to hear about next time. Okay, cool. The next bit, quick disclaimer. Look, I am here to give you not investment advice. Anything I say during this live stream is not giving any recommendation on any investment product. It's just for educational purposes, and really anything that you take from me, whether or not I'm 100% accurate or not, it really is up to you to do your own due diligence and do your own research. Okay, so I got to put that disclaimer out there. And just to mention a quick news bites, because I was just trolling through the social media, see what people are talking about. I don't know, maybe some things that might be a little bit interesting is basically, look, we all know that regulators around the world are still trying to figure out how to manage crypto in general. It's important to note because it kind of drives sort of like what may happen with the investments that you're already into in products that are not regulated right now, and whether it be tax consequences or how you can transfer it from one exchange to another, or tying into identity, right? So I think it's all important. But anyways, New York crypto regulator publishes a formal stablecoin guidance, right? Especially after the Terra Luna kind of fiasco. It got a lot of attention from regulators to kind of have a voice, right? So I guess it's kind of good, but we'll see. We know that sometimes these things move very slow. Other bit I saw in the news was Solana commits 100 mil to aid South Korean crypto projects, more heavily targeted to game developers. So it's kind of like right now, because especially in this bear market, there's opportunity. There's people in the industry that are available, and that's what they're looking to target. But we'll see how that plays out. Maybe new coins coming out, and maybe new blockchain projects. We'll see. And then so let's get into it. So crypto scams. You want to avoid being duped, conned, or becoming a victim? Well, let's do our best and let's talk through the top 5 scams in 2022. So number one, going to give you all even the special names for these that are industry known, and this is called rug pulls. So imagine a rug like in a household, and you're standing on it and someone pulls it and then you fall down and you hurt yourself, right? Imagine essentially that's what it is. And look, it's not specific to crypto. It's been around for years. In regulated markets like stock markets and bond markets, it's really illegal actually to do this. But in crypto it happens, and it's been happening. You go all the way back to a lot of the ICO projects back in the days. We all know that there's a lot of stuff that happened back there, right? So let's look at what it means. So a rug pull, it's a scam promotion, right? So where you basically you'll take like a token. Someone creates a token, and it's talked about on social media. They get some influencers to talk about it. There's people who've built up a good following. They talk about it, and basically the whole purpose is that with all the excitement about this new token project, the price goes up, right? And the people who are actually driving all this promotion, they know this is happening, right? So they keep on running the stream of like exciting news and so on and so forth. What ends up happening? Well, the scammers, the people who are running the whole show, when the price goes up, they sell, right? They sell in huge quantities, obviously causing the price to fall. And basically that is basically a rug pull. Basically the people running the promotions, they sell at top dollar, price goes down, and everyone else who bought in, they most likely lost money. Like it's in some cases, if it falls to zero, they lost all their money, right? So this is a common scam in finance in general. It's been happening for years, even way before crypto was around. So if you look at NFTs, there's a lot of links, I guess, to projects with digital art stored somewhere else. There was one in 2021, rumors spread about some real rug pull of an NFT. Someone located the whereabouts of the file, the digital file, and changed its contents of the image. And it's a rug pull that left the rug, I suppose. But anyways, if you want to learn more specific cases about rug pulls, just search up rug pull as keyword search, or exit scam, or Ponzi scheme. These are popular sort of type scams, and that you can learn more about. And so if we go into here's what I did want to talk about. This is called the Squid Game tokens. So if you're anywhere near Netflix, in the past, I guess 6 months, there was this Korean show called Squid Games, very, very popular, and I actually enjoyed it myself. Essentially, it's about a group of people that get into, I guess, an arena, game arena with multiple rooms, and there's a huge, like millions of dollars of a prize, and basically people play these games until the last one standing gets basically all the money. But essentially, how that happens is that everyone else has to die. So if you think about that analogy in this instance, so the Squid token basically suddenly increased in value because once again, lots of people on the internet saw a promotion from various social medias between October 25th and the 1st of last year. And the Squid coin rose more than 23 million percent from just like a very few cents, like a small like 0.000 something to like 2,861, and the increase was followed by a huge drop in price down to 0.003 cents, and everyone said that the Squid coin was just a rug pull. Now, the developers of the Squid coin allegedly walked away and abandoned the project. It's one of those things where probably the business or financiers of this token, who knows, what the real deal was, but developers claim that they had nothing to do with it. They're just developers developing kind of like sort of like the technology piece of it. And anyway, so they sold the tokens, but they earned about $3.3 million. So if we look at let's look at this really quick, because I thought it was really kind of cool. Like here, you can kind of see. So if you look at Gizmodo, right? You can look at the site and look at what happens. Like all this promotion ramps up, boom! Like I don't know, within a couple of days, right? Boom! It's just all gone. So basically, what they I guess the biggest red flag on this was that investors were only able to buy the token, but they were not able to sell it on the same exchange, which is really, really odd. Imagine like saying, oh, you got to buy Bitcoin here, but if you want to cash out, you got to go to another exchange. You got to move it somewhere else and then basically sell it off and whatever. So that was a big thing. And then another bit that was mentioned here is the Telegram channel restricted comments from users. So it's a kind of a big thing. Like, why would you do that? If you're trying to build community on Telegram and show full transparency. And then the Twitter account disabled replies from anyone. It's all the stuff like that. Basically, they just didn't want to hear people complaining, right? And they were trying to shut it down. So anyways, here's some things to avoid, because I think that's the next bit here. Tips to avoid, I was talking about this in this instance, right? So this rug pull. Research the team behind the project. Typically when people are out there, and you can either meet them in person, or they're very visible and they're making a lot of noise, and they're real people, or maybe even people in your network have met them. It's typically tends to be people who are not trying to hide behind the scenes, because typically in a rug pull, the team behind it doesn't want to be known, right? So they run the promotion, they make the money, they run, and no one knows who they are, right? So that's why you want to research the team. Analyzing trade on chain, and then so I guess if you look at a project and there might be a potential, it's a rug pull opportunity if it only appears on a few decentralized exchanges, and it has little trading activity and low liquidity. So if there's not much movement and they're hyping it up like crazy, it's kind of like, okay, well, there's no movement. I don't see. It seems like they're just trying to hype it up, essentially, right? And avoid FOMO, fear of missing out. If you're not familiar with this term, it applies to everything in life, right? We never want to miss out. It's the basics of like human psychology, right? We don't want to be left behind. And then read the news. So I guess if we go back here and talk about avoiding the scams, how to avoid scams like token scams. Don't jump on hype coins is what I'm talking about. I mean, if there's no movement or price action, or it looks very unusual, usually some big guys like whales behind it, or they're able to move it like quickly in a couple of days. and then they try to match it with the hype. So basically, don't jump on these hype coins as a red flag. Like I said, research every crypto that you plan to buy. What does it say? Anyone can upload tokens on the DEX. So it doesn't really matter if it's on, maybe some tokens you can see that, oh, we're on 10 different exchanges. Oh, we're so popular. But if there's no liquidity and there's no movement on them, it doesn't really mean anything. Okay, cool. Alrighty, let's get on to our next one. It is phishing. So it's not going fishing. It's phishing, and this has been a form of fraud that's been around for a long time. And I guess to put it simply, it is someone that reaches out to you by, let's say, email or messenger apps, and they disguise themselves as I guess a company or a representative of a company. It looks all legitimate. Like for example, let's say you've got a bank account with Citibank or HSBC, and you get an email, and the email looks like it's from the company, right? So it's got the branding around it, the disclaimers on the bottom. It looks all legitimized. And for most people, they probably would look at it and say, hey, this looks legit. But if you look at the email, something is wrong with the email. Maybe it's something like, customer service.hsbc.cognitive.com or some weird thing like that, right? But it uses like the bank's name in the email, makes it all legitimate, makes it all look legitimate. And basically the scammer, or I guess the criminal, is trying to get you to give them some information about like yourself, like, oh, by the way, we found out that you've requested to change your password. If this is not you, please click here. And then you click there and you go to some site that asks you to reset your password, and all of a sudden they got your password, right? This is like the common thing. Or people ask you for oh, we were, let's say we've got some information on file that we need to update. Can you please verify your ID number, right? So these type of things, and sometimes people just go for it. And then on the other side, people are collecting information, and they will use it against you. That's the whole purpose, right? And so that is phishing, and yes, it happens in crypto. So let's say, let me show you an example of let's see here. This is what you call it, an airdrop phishing, sort of like a use case, right? So in here, you see here, claim reward, bonus airdrop, claim now. Yeah, yes, we all love airdrops. We want some free tokens, right? And it goes there and it selects a wallet, and it all looks legit, you see? Type in your MetaMask. I have a 12-word phrase. It's actually collecting information for you. Like, it's crazy, right? And then you go through the things, and it feels all good, and all of a sudden, like, you find out that you get something from MetaMask support telling you that don't trust anyone that sent you a direct message, right? And it may look all legit. In the process, you hit a website, who knows, and then something happens, and it's just purely all bogus. It just looks, there's a site that looks to be made by, like basically this one looks like CoinMarketCap, but it's not. It's set somewhere else. So that's a typical phishing type of scam. And usually the easiest way it comes at you is through emails and or text messages. And yeah, so they look like they're from a company that you know and trust. All right, so then you've got, let's see, what was else? Let's see, phishing emails and text messages often telling you a story that wants you to click on something to open an attachment. And sometimes perhaps there is a site that it takes you to collect information that looks legitimate, and that's the whole point. Or they might have some type of thing where software-wise, that it executes a virus or something on your own computer, right? Without you even knowing it. And maybe you open up the attachment and it looks all legit, and you're like, okay, whatever, you don't take any action. But now that software, because you've clicked on it, you pretty much executed code behind the scenes to download some software malicious software onto your computer. So the other things to avoid this type of stuff is to make sure that you protect your computer using security software. Your security software is always updated automatically, whatever you have on your computer, and protect your mobile phone settings to update automatically as well around security. And then so to protect, always protect all of your crypto accounts or your wallets or any logins. It doesn't really matter. That means related to crypto, just all your accounts these days. I think it's standard to have multi-factor authentication. Sometimes I used to get annoyed when like some financial apps now, it's like, okay, I'm going in and then like I have like 5 choices for multi-factor authentication, which basically means there's more than one way to prove that it's you. One, it could be my Face ID, right? Another one, it could be like a code that gets sent via messaging to my phone, a code that gets sent to my email, a code that will call me on the phone, and it'll say it over some automated voice message, like a code there that you gotta kind of enter in. You got Google Authenticator that has codes that change like every 30 seconds or so. No, actually it's less than that. But anyways, so these type of things, there's so many different things to do. So make sure you have your accounts using multi-factor authentication, and for sure, if you have got money behind it, right? And yeah, protect your data. Back it up often. That's what I would say. So yeah, we already went through the airdrop phishing case. So let's go to our next one. Let's see here. Sorry about that. Cool. All right, now here is the infamous pump and dump. Okay, so how best to describe this? Well, why don't we just read not just at least the first paragraph and just talk through it. Okay, so pump and dump, it's manipulative. It's a scheme that boosts the price of a stock through fake recommendations. A little bit sort of like more specific than a rug pull. Rug pull, yes, they do promotions to bump up the price and they sell it off, right? It's a little bit similar, right? But the perpetrators of the pump and dump scheme, they already have themselves an established position in the company stock, like that they're already invested. And then the idea is that they would sell instead of stock, maybe it's the token or cryptocurrency. And then they will sell the position after the hype has led to a much higher share price. Now, if you look at it, the same scheme can be used by anyone across any online trading account with the ability to convince an investor to buy it, buy whatever, be a stock or coin, and say, hey, it's ready to take off. Look at these, they build some story about the technical aspects of it, analysis, and basically they try to get as many people in it. Sometimes it's promoted through social media, but sometimes it's not. Actually, maybe it's sometimes through its private communities or through word of mouth, through a certain community, let's say, right? Because the idea is, because it's such a great deal, you don't want to tell everyone about it. You want to make it feel like it's special, that it is secret, that no, I haven't heard it on the news, right? But hey, a friend of a friend of a friend had told me that this was the thing. This was the next coin that was gonna pop. Oh, do you trust your friend? Yeah, I trust my friend. Do you trust that friend's friend? Oh, they usually don't go that far, to be honest. But anyways, so that's kind of how it goes. Keep it on the down low, keep it quiet, make it feel exclusive. I'm the one hearing it through a very special friend, right? So this is kind of like the whole idea. And similar to the rug pulls, once it gets to a high point, the ones holding all the stocks of the coins, they just sell it off, right? And so that's pretty much how it works. And it really sucks if you're part of it. But similar to the rug pulls, a lot of pump and dumps have happened. Like, the whole point is coins or stocks or investments are created specifically for this exact opportunity. And if you go outside, you could say the same thing in the sense of let's use real estate for an example, right? So it's popular in real estate that there's developers that I guess they bought out the land, right? So some investor bought out the land. They hire some developers. They fence it up. They create all this buzz. It's up and coming. They go to all these real estate agent places, and you can see posters and like modeling of what it's going to look like, and so this big wealthy person is going to back it for sure. It's going to go. People are excited about it. They create all this buzz about it. Little do they know that the land itself, even though it was purchased, is compromised. Maybe it is under some, who knows, there's some type of landfill that's really not safe, that it would cost a whole lot of money to get it to a point where it was okay by code, by country, or like let's say the country's code, that you can safely build on it. And let's say they hide some of that information. Is it possible? I mean, it should be public record, yes. But there are these type of scams that happen where basically they try to build it up, and they buy some cheap piece of land, say it's gonna go up, and people are buying into it, and all of a sudden like something happens that the project never goes through. Okay, so anyways, it happens. The whole point I'm trying to make is it happens in many different industries, not just crypto. And here's the one interesting of a pump and dump. So for those who didn't catch this, like mid last year, so FaZe Clan is a popular esports team, one of the most popular on the global level. Basically, they ran this marketing campaign around the Save the Kids token, right? It was a crypto, and a percentage was going to be donated to charity, right? And it feels good. People bought into it. They loved the story. The team members on the esports team were all promoting it. It seemed all legit around the world. It was running around social media, and yeah, so it raised money, but pretty much, as you can see on the graph here, it just dumped, right? It's completely dumped. Now, what really happened behind the scenes is very similar to what the other case I had shared earlier, in which the esports guy team members like, oh, we don't know what's going on, we don't know how this happened, and essentially like two members were removed and one was actually fired. So who knows what really happened? Something must have happened. Perhaps it's one of those things when back, I guess with any promotion, you want to hit up an audience that you of investors. You go to someone that has an audience already, and they go to these esports guys and figure if they talk about it, they can get people like bought into this coin. Anyways, so that was that whole fiasco, and maybe I can run through this really quick. Let's see. Oh, I did want to show you. So it's like a look at a failed influencer deal to promote a cryptocurrency. So there's this one account by FaZe Banks, right? So he's one of the co-founders of the FaZe team, and essentially, like he was seen like this was actually a different coin. So typically, as I mentioned, influencers were heavily used to promote altcoins, alternative coins, and were basically highly volatile coins. Anyways, as of after this incident and a few others, actually a lot of influencers have backed themselves off of supporting coins because there's been a bad stigma around it, right? Like basically you're part of you're leveraging your own audience and trying to make money from them by cheating them. So that's what they're trying to avoid. But anyways, so it goes. FaZe Banks, co-founder of the FaZe Clan, the esports team. So he posted on Twitter, I would never knowingly scam my following for a quick buck. It isn't fair and simply not true, right? So he talks about that, and then and this was in response to a altcoin that he had promoted previously, right? So if you look at this, right? So after FaZe Banks had posted this, giving away 10,000 to one lucky person that retweets, likes, and follows Bank Social IO, right? So this was that altcoin, and after he made that tweet, then of course it went crazy. Lots of people joined, right? It seemed cool because I guess people trusted him. And then what happened? Basically, the stock price went down, or not the stock price, but the coin price went down shortly after that as well. Now, there's two sides of the story. So on the Bank Social side, they were seen as the instigators of pumping and dumping it, but they had a call. This is actually an article on Mashable saying, "Hey, we had no claims that we asked for that to happen, right?" And then if you look furthermore, so if you look at um, I guess a lot of posts from FaZe banks were deleted. That's number one. And here's somebody within FaZe Bank's network that's saying, "Hey, I made a lot, 10K or in the last 20 minutes. He's building it up, and here." This is a project I F with heavily and truly believe is the next one to pop. $10,000 winner chosen at random in 24 hours, right? So he's doing his giveaway, and basically this is one of the teammates saying, "I'm 2x already," right? So the whole point is like, all right, so what does that really mean? What's going on? It definitely looks like they're pumping this up. So this is just a couple examples just to show. In the end, Bank Social said they didn't want anything to do with FaZe anymore, and it definitely wasn't set up that way. But you never know what happens behind the scenes, but it doesn't matter. People who bought into Bank Social and it went down, they lost their money. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's wrong, who's right, but that's what happened. All right. So let's get on to then the next one here. Let's see. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, tips to avoid. So look, if someone, you see a lot of talk online about a token and it's a little bit obsessive, like you see it all over the place, of course, do your own due diligence. But if someone comes to you, like it's unsolicited, someone you don't know, and it happens a lot on social media. "Hey, bro, I see that you're in this Telegram group. Have you heard about this coin? Someone's telling me it's about to pop, blah, blah, blah." They build some report and basically try to like say, "Hey, you should check it out." But anyways, usually when there's promises of huge returns, I know people have made huge returns in crypto, but if someone's saying, "Hey man, you're gonna 10x for sure," I know I have inside information. I mean, you gotta kind of question that, right? And look out for affinity fraud. So basically, affinity is like having an association, let's say, with a brand. Like, "Oh yeah, we're with let's say we're with the Huobi exchange, and we're promoting this token. We're trying this social media marketing effort to outreach to tell people about this token that's gonna list on Huobi, and we're keeping it on a down low, no secret, blah blah blah." So they try to use a respectable company's name to kind of build credibility to what they're saying, right? So that's another thing to avoid. Okay, cool. And then we'll go to airdrops. Okay, here, I would assume that most people in crypto, or even if you're new, airdrops are basically tokens of basic crypto that you get in exchange for some action that you've taken. So typically, if someone says, "Hey, join our platform," and we give you a few tokens. Deposit some money in our platform and we'll give you some tokens. Join our social media and get some tokens. Help us do some report bugs from our platform and give you some tokens, right? Things like this. So that's usually how airdrops work, but how the scam works is this, right? So there is, I guess, the company who owns whatever the coin is says they will airdrop you a token that will appear in your wallet, right? Your wallet of choice, and it has value. And then when you go to the exchange, and when you go to exchange that airdrop token, or for another well-known token, you give the protocol, I guess, like how it's set up. You give them this person asking to, I guess the platform will give permissions, more permissions than you realize to access your wallet. Meaning that here it says, I'll show you the article here. Basically, hackers are able to access all the assets in your wallet through this very simple type of scam, right? You think you're part of an airdrop, they want to put something in your wallet and they want to exchange it, and in order to exchange the coins, they want to put it into your wallet, and basically, it creates this whole illicit trade, let's say, really bad trade, that basically they're able to take access of your wallet. And this has actually really become quite popular because of the explosion of Web3 as a recent. So I did want to show here because I thought it'd be a little bit easier to explain. So this goes, what are we talking about? Common phishing attacks. I think we talked about this already, right? So we talked about how this is. So this is sort of like here. Like if you're not on the site and it's asking you for a 12-word phrase for your MetaMask, see, this is what I'm talking about. I think I showed it before. This is not a real site. It looks like a site. It looks like a legit site. And yeah, so then if you take one of your 12-word, phrases, your secret phrases, which basically unlocks your private key, which also unlocks your wallet. So this is what I'm talking about, and it kind of goes through that whole process and tries to steal that information. So how do you protect yourself from this type of scam? Well, you don't do this. And it's really hard sometimes because, like I said, you can come to a site and look, it totally looks legitimate. Perhaps what you could do in the case, I guess you can provide access to a wallet that really doesn't have any assets in it. Like if you're only doing this through an airdrop, it's not like you're gonna get so much coins from the airdrop anyways, right? Use a wallet, do the airdrop, get the coin. If it's all legit, swap it out, move the token into the wallet where all your other assets are, something like that. That's all. And so that's the main thing that you got to do. Just be careful out there, right? Okay, and then the last one is number 5 is called pig butchering. So I hope I'm not moving too fast, but this one is one of the most creative, I guess I can say. So let me set this up. This is how it works. So basically, pig butchering, right? So what happens is on social media sites, on dating sites, it could be a guy or girl. It'll have an attractive picture. They'll try to chat up with people on let's say the dating site or social media. And what the scammer does is that they use an attractive profile to kind of lure you in, like, oh wow, this attractive person is wanting to get to know me, right? And then so you go through conversations that will feel quite real, like it's a real person wanting to get to know you. They'll ask about like, where do you work, where do you live, and essentially a lot of the information is to assess whether or not you have money, initially, right? And they go, what type of investments are you in? And these type of, I guess, scammers, what they end up doing is like, it's not just one person, it's actually a whole team of people, right? And they've got like a whole list of scripts of how questions to ask and how to answer, right, to make it seem believable. It includes even the teams have access to photos. Like, so they essentially, before they even reach someone, they build a whole profile. They go on LinkedIn, build a profile, dating site, build a whole profile. They take different pictures, they swap them in and out. They're even on like something like WhatsApp, and like they have their picture everywhere. It looks really legit. Like this person's showing their face everywhere. They've got to be for real, right? They may connect to people that I think connect to people or maybe it's a little bit harder, but not like for on a dating site, I suppose. But anyways, so eventually they get you in a conversation. They say, I am trying to build my wealth through investments. They start telling the story, telling the victim about some huge gains that they've made in cryptocurrency markets recently. and they try to convince you that they're doing quite well, and how, perhaps a screenshot of a stock, right? The performance of a stock, a past performance that they claim that they purchased, a screenshot of some cryptocurrency wallet or some online account that shows they got like so much money in it, right? And basically, they try to get you to buy into an investment in which they'll basically do a pump and dump or a rug pull. So it's sort of like more or less the same thing. It's just that how this is a way that people bring you in. And if you imagine pig butchering, essentially you're the pig, you get brought in to get slaughtered, right? So basically all your money disappears, right? And then at the end of the day, I guess every situation, every setup is a little bit different about like what type of investment they try to get you in. Oh, we're gonna back this coin, go put it into this coin, or deposit it into this wallet, or whatever it is. You deposit into this wallet, then we'll give you like 2 times the coins, or some crazy like unrealistic promises like that. So basically, they and sometimes they set up phony sites to for projects and so on and so forth. That's the internet these days, right? So it's called pig butchering. So I do want to go through. This is the last one. This is going to be good. I actually want to go through an example, and I want you to actually sit through with me through a 5-minute video, because it's amazing. Just like the amount of work that goes into doing this, because like I said, it's not one person, it's a team, it's a whole, like, it's almost like a corporation of people trying to do this globally, right? And well, let's go through really quick the tips to avoid. All right, look, this is like anything in life. If it's too good to be true, most likely it is. Like if someone comes to you and says, hey, it's great to meet you on this dating site. I think that we would have a future together. Oh, by the way, I've been in this investment, and it'd be cool if you get on it with me, because I think we can make a lot of money. And after we make the money, let's go on a getaway vacation together. Things like this, right? Anyway, so stay away from platforms that don't look legit, or you're not familiar with, you've never heard about, or when you search it and you can't really find a lot of information on it. And never move large sums of money with people you've never met in person, or sometimes people in your network. I know that's how like it is these days, crypto world or digital world, even because of COVID. Like you just meet a lot of people and you never meet them in person, right? At least they gotta know someone that There's gotta be something in the network that that they're for real, because the likelihood of them taking advantage of you is a lot less. So those are some of the things tips to avoid. And let's take a look at this one example. So I hope that you haven't seen this yet, but let's see here. Let's see. The perpetrators in the companies drive the victim to keep paying, disappear with the platform and all the investment. Let's all invest together on a fake platform. So it's been crazy. This scheme has exploded in China first. And look at all the losses around the world in 2021. Completely insane. Bank transfers to cryptocurrency. So I think before cryptocurrency, people were trying to get people to transfer money into an investment that never existed. Uses the same human psychology, greed. Yeah, people can use LinkedIn. They've got so many scripts, as I mentioned. Yeah. They work, look at this. They work in teams in the back end to talk to people. That's how we get paid to do it. To imitate relationships. It's a cooperation. 5 targets to final 9 suckers, 5 suckers. So the team actually can shift from person to person. But what ends up happening is the conversation continues as if it's the same person. emotional kidnapping. I love that. Taught to exude emotions. Oh my gosh. I guess some of these scammers will go to all lengths to get people to let go of their money. Nudes, sending nudes. I guess a guy sends a nude to a girl, or he thinks he's sending it to a girl, but that person uses it for blackmail. Scammers are cold-blooded, just as long as they get their money. That's it. Sadistic, perfect word. There's some of these people out there. Sorry if the sound's a bit loud. Okay, so yeah, people are left in debt for sure. And people, they're so desperate, maybe they think about suicide. Yeah. So this is one about companies in celebrating and how they're bragging how much money was brought in. Here's the usual cut. Look at that of people kind of getting paid all behind the scenes. Yeah. So this is just look. Take this video for what it is. But the fact is, this does happen, and if it's ever happened to you, it'll happen in the most unlikely situations. Right. So I'm gonna cut that out because I don't think I need to show more of that. But that's the whole bit is and I'll tell you why it happens. Is because I'll tell you the truth, I went through it myself. I didn't lose any money. It's just that I knew this stuff was around, and in every once in a while I'll get some random post on LinkedIn. Usually it's on LinkedIn recently, and or on WhatsApp. And so about a month ago, I started to entertain this person who contacted me, and I was having conversations back and forth, and it didn't take very long because I said, "Oh yeah, I'm big in crypto, this and that." They weren't into crypto; they had some knowledge about crypto, but what ended up happening is that they were trying to move me into some investment. I would say a penny stock. It was basically worth like a couple cents, if even at that, right? And they said, oh, like look at the performance back here, and it probably was a previous like scenes pump, I guess you can say. They increased the price with probably using their own money, and then yeah, so then what had happened was like it continued, and they were trying to get me to deposit money. I had fake like deposit, I guess, into an account. I didn't move that much. They wanted to, and then they kept on asking, oh, can I show proof? I just want to see. I just want to make sure it's the right one, right? And it is unbelievable, like what they were willing to do. Anyways, it ramps up. They're saying, oh, the stock, this stock, it's getting reinvested. Like it's a M&A, mergers and acquisition, and the stock is set to pop. You got to be in, and Citibank's in it, and Morgan Stanley's in it, and all these other banks, right? And then of course I search for it. I don't see any news about the stock. And on the week where I was supposed to put in the money, like I kept on saying, oh yeah, I'm preparing my money. Yeah, my money's ready to be deployed, right? Kept on saying that. The morning that that was supposed to happen, right? It's supposed to be like this coordinated effort. Oh, hey, I'll tell you when to do it and when's the appropriate time. And I said, sure. And then that day I just said, oh, I'm not feeling well today. I'm going to sleep all day. And then like near the other, like I guess it was some quick response like, are you sick? Are you okay? Can you still make the trade? And then maybe like at the end of the day, sometime at night, I get this message, goodbye. And then like I watched that stock. It's been about, I don't know, like a month already, and nothing happened to that stock. It did actually bump up like marginally, right? Maybe some other sucker got bought in, but it's just amazing because I can now recognize the setup. I should probably document it anyways. I can recognize the setup. They hit me up. Oh, you are in cryptocurrency. I'd love to meet you. Seems like you're the type of person that I'd like to learn from, right? Stroking my ego using basic human like psychology. But anyways, yeah, they made me think that I could. It wasn't even crazy. They just figured I can double my money, right? At a very minimum, right? That's what it was. And they showed me some other historical thing. Oh, this was my company does all these M&As, and this was our last project that we worked on, and it was like 7x, right? So it was kind of like building all that proof and everything. But anyways, honestly, it's like it didn't. I seriously, I just couldn't believe like how much effort was put in. I put in a lot of effort too because I just want to see how long this would go for, right? And it was extremely funny. I got so many different photos. It looked legitimate from different backgrounds. But then how people like you can do like you can blow up the image and you kind of looking for stuff in the background. I said, they say they're in this place, but it doesn't look like that place. It looks like it's somewhere else, right? So I'm like, trying to look at all the different pictures. But anyways, I'm happy that I didn't get taken for a sucker, and I hope that none of you will as well. So, all right, that ends this session. I was happy to share that because, look, like I said, I'm just trying to educate and arm crypto investors out there. And as I mentioned, if there's anything that you want to know about, you can reach out to me on Telegram. Any topics you want me to expand on, or you want to share some information you want me to share to the rest of the Huobi Live community, just send it over to me. All right, so I'm going to sign off. And hey, it was good doing the session, and I hope to see you again. All right, bye.